6 months ago, Thors trees came very close to every business owner's absolute worst nightmare. I was at a charity event about an hour and a half away from work, and I received a phone call from some neighbouring properties and from the firefighters telling me that I needed to get to my unit within the next 10 minutes. Otherwise, they were going to cut through the doors in order to put out a fire.
So like electrical and
The moment I got that phone call, my heart just hit the ground. I was completely and utterly useless in that moment. There was nothing I could do other than just wait for news. You know, everybody that was there, people that called me and told me my building was on fire, were just constantly, you know, updating me with WhatsApp videos, pictures, you know, and text messages, phone calls, just giving me updates in that hour and a half journey back home. And again, I'm so grateful to those people, because in order for me to stay calm, you know, I needed certainty. I knew that because it was a Saturday, no one was in the building. So for me, the most important thing, as far as I was aware, was that no one was hurt. You know, belongings can be replaced, but lives are not even worth thinking about. So it was the only comforting thing for me at that time when I was racing back, was knowing that I know for sure that that office and warehouse was empty. Everything I owned, everything I worked hard for, the last 10 years of my life had been committed to the growth and the success of Thors Trees, not only as an organization, not only as a company, but in supporting the growth of everybody that had passed through those doors. And heavy is the crown when you take on that with much responsibility, when you have to bear the news that this may be the end. At the time, when I was racing back, all I could think about was what's going to be left in this fire when we go back through the doors. Do we still have a business left? Do we still have a business to return to? How much damage is there? I mean, we had wood chippers, power tools, laptops, you know, all sorts of files, printers, TVs. We had a boardroom table. We had absolutely everything, from climbing kits, rigging kits, stump grinders. My whole life's commitment to that day, a decade's worth of work had gone into everything that was in that room. Everything that was in that warehouse was 10 years worth of work. When I finally arrived back at the warehouse, the office was surrounded by 7 fire engines, about 25 firefighters, a couple of my colleagues, and a few neighbors. I could still see fire coming out of the cladded roofing, which made me think that I was certain that everything that was in that building was destroyed. There was no chance in hell that, with the amount of smoke that was coming out of that roof, that there was going to be anything worth saving. All I could do in that moment was wait for the firefighters to come out and say that it was safe for me to go in, for me to be able to explore what was left of my life. See, I mean, look, there wasn't a lot left. You know, when I went back into that building, there wasn't a lot left. Hardly anything, actually, you know. And obviously I knew that a lot of the items in there, the plant and the machinery, was insured, but we weren't going to get it back tomorrow. We weren't insured for the interruption. And it was going to take us weeks to be able to get back all the plant and machineries and the tools and the climbing equipment before our suppliers could give us the amount of equipment that we needed in order to be able to keep people in business. But what we did have left was critical that we looked after that. We made sure that it was serviceable to a certain point so that it could get us out of the sticky situation that we were in. And if anybody was to find out about this fire, if the fire wasn't enough to be the end, then that would be. My message to the people out there, if you are someone who has your own business, or if you're responsible for others, maybe you're just a sole trader, maybe you're just someone who is interested in what's important that you put in place for a business. And now, I thought I had ticked all the boxes. I thought I did everything that I needed to do. One thing I wish looking back at it now, I wish we had business interruption insurance. That's huge. You know, if we had had just a cushion of support in the first, say, 2-3 weeks to just absorb some of the cash flow loss and get things in motion, replace some of the assets urgently and quickly before our tools and plant insurance kicked in, that would have made my life a lot easier, but we didn't. Secondly, I would say it's critical, even if you have tools and plant insurance, to document absolutely everything that you own, from the asset type to the model, the serial number, if you can have a picture of it. Make sure you have the receipts. If we didn't have all those receipts, if we didn't have all those records, if we didn't have every serial number to every asset that was in that building, the insurance wouldn't have paid out, or they would have taken a hell of a lot longer. And they drag their heels anyway, all the way through. And it's painful, and it's a tough cash flow journey to suffer, to inherit. It's so tough to ride the wave of an insurance claim. Business interruption insurance makes all the difference, but not having a log of everything that you own for your insurers to feel confident that you're making a legitimate claim, man, that would have been tough. And thirdly, my advice to someone who's going through any stressful time in their life, whether it be in business or personal. In my situation, it was business and it was personal. It's just to stay calm. Don't let your emotions get over you. I've never been one to be emotional on the decisions. Actually, that's a lie. I used to be emotional. I used to be very emotional in my leadership, and it never used to get me anywhere. I'd say first 5 years of my leadership style was emotionally led, and it took a lot to drill into me that emotions are good for you, but they shouldn't drive decisions, especially when you have a leadership position or when you have a role of authority in an organization. You need to stay calm, you need to stay collected, you need to have a strategy behind you, and making the right decisions normally take a little bit of time. And now my building was burning down. Everything that I owned was in that building. Everything Thors Trees owned, everything that we was in that building. That one voice that spoke to me, that gave me comfort and gave me certainty, was that I'm gonna stay calm and I'm gonna stay collected and we're gonna get through this, and I'm not gonna get emotional about it. I'm looking forward to sharing the journey with you guys. Part of me's always wished that I documented my journey up to this 10-year point. I mean, Thors Trees has been going for a decade now. 2015, I started this company from the back of my car. So what is now probably one of the biggest tree care companies in London, serving a broad range of clients, from public sector, private sector, homeowners, gardeners, builders, developers. We've got a huge range of clients that we don't ever want to let down. I wish if I could go back 10 years, I started my vlog back then. I started a vlog back then to just document my journey. And it gets to a point in business where you're like, oh, I haven't done it now, so I'm not gonna start now. There's no point. I'm too busy. But now I truly feel like there is a reason for me to document this journey. I feel like I owe it to the people. I owe it to myself, and I know it's gonna be fun. I hope it's gonna be fun. But also there's so much stuff that I wanna just pass on to others. There's so much information, so much value, there's so many lessons. There's so much that I have to give. There's so much information that I'd love to be able to tell people. And the only way I feel like I'm gonna be able to do that is if I vlog the next part of my journey. So I'm really looking forward to taking you guys on the journey as we recover and move toward a bigger picture where I can share the journey with you all about the success and the triumph and how we move almost like the phoenix coming out of the ashes. Because If there's one thing I'm super proud of, that I'm so grateful for, is that we are a badass team, man. Like, everybody who works here has kicked in. They've stepped up. I've stepped up. They've made me step up. We missed documenting and vlogging the first 10 years of our business. But here's to the next 10 years. One promise I can make to you is that I will share with you the raw, unedited. Some days it's gonna be good, some days it's gonna be bad, but I'm happy to share that all with you. I'm happy to take you guys all on the journey. It will be fun, it will be enjoyable, it will be raw, but I'm looking forward to it and I'm super excited to take you guys with me.